This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, from the heartland of America, EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
On the other side of the field for the visiting 49ers, they come off a good win in the opener on the road, and they get a second road game here.
Yeah, the schedule makers didn't really do them any favors, but if they can win here and get to 2-0 on the road, they can be well set up for the rest of the year.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jacobs. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
You got 4. 319! 319!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
And they'll go on the ground. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. A look now at the starters on this 49er defense. They were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's about what you consider the break-even mark. If you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course, but pretty nice effort.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Solomon Thomas able to track him down for a loss of 13, and it'll bring up 4th down.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. The Colts send out their punter. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And their quarterback, well, everyone knows he's got height, standing at 6'6".
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnists write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Second and 9 now from the 21. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The starters now on the defensive side of the ball for Indianapolis. Against the pass, they're toward the middle of the league, number 15 in the NFL.
And from analyzing them and talking with their defensive coordinator, we know they have a full playbook. So look for them to mix up coverages, pressure one play, fall back the next. They'll do a lot of different things trying to confuse the offense.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll look to throw. And he will find Scott on the right side, complete. And down he'll go at the 25. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And they'll run it here. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
319.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. That's Jacobs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
319.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The numbers for him from a week ago, 14 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game, because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
319.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Solomon Thomas in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week, and we just saw their first one of this game.
The Colts send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't